What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Vince Rashad, aka the Truth Terrorist 2, in this video, the Game Spitter. And the name of this video is What She's Really Saying. What She's Really Saying. Am I Fat? Hashtag What She's Really Saying. In order to understand why certain women would even ask this question, you have to understand women totally and completely. And to understand women totally and completely is to understand that the average woman, on average, does not mature past, well, let me put it this way, about 50% of women, anywhere from 50 to 70% of women, you could generally say, don't mature past the age of about 13 or 14 years old. And they have a relatively high schoolish view of the world. And well, not so much of the world, but of how they view men. And there's basically about 3 categories of men. There's actually about 4, but I'll just generally narrow it down to 3 categories, or 3 ways that women view men, or 3 categories that they put men in. And to understand these 3 categories is to understand that when it just comes to human beings, and it's not a gender thing, a man instantly knows a dime when he's looking at a dime. If you look at a female, and I don't want to use females in pornography, but when you really think about it, in American society, it's so difficult to really just think off the top of your head like prototypical dime females who you can just instantly think of. I mean, with as many beautiful black women as there are, I don't like running over the same old damn women like Beyonce and Gabrielle Union and Cookie. What's the chick in Empire? Taraji Henson? I mean, to me, Taraji Henson looks okay. She's like a 7, in my opinion. But it's hard to think of just dime-ass women who are not just the prototypical Gabrielle Union and on the lower end, Whoopi Goldberg, you know. But generally speaking, you know that Gabrielle Union is just years ahead of Whoopi Goldberg in terms of looks. And that's the same way that a woman will look at a Boris Kojo and a Morris Chestnut compared to a Flavor Flav and, you know, Flavor Flav and Steve Urkel. You know, it's the same way. She instantly knows who she's attracted to. But what she doesn't instantly know is that where exactly your position is. What's your position in society? When we think of men or boys in high school, you think of the alpha as the very popular guy. He got a lot of girls. He probably slept with anywhere from 10 to 15 girls in high school. And then there's the middleman who he's somewhat popular, but not really popular. In the eyes of women, he's maybe a 6 or a 7. And he probably got with anywhere from 4 to 6 women in high school. He dresses okay. He's got a little bit of swag to himself, just a little bit, but not that much. But he's okay. And then there's the outcast, the Omega C, I refer to them as. He is very introverted. He doesn't really have that many male friends. He has 0 female friends. He has a hard time maintaining conversation with women. He only has a few guys who he's close with, if any, but he views women as very extremely difficult. And as a matter of fact, he really doesn't like girls at all. He likes pussy, but he doesn't like girls. And like I said, this guy is a complete outsider. He's like the planet Pluto. You know, he's way out there separated from everybody, like a maverick. Women generally tend to not gravitate toward that type of man at all. And I could get into a lesson about evolution, but what you got to understand is that a woman wants a man that is her perception as masculine, in charge, but from a socio level of positioning above her. Often when you hear women say, I want a man to put me in my place, what she's really saying, hashtag number 2, what she's really saying is that she wants a man whose place or position in society is greater than hers. A man who can daddy her. A man who she can almost have a yes sir type view of. You get what I'm saying? Or either a man who's somewhat equal to her. But she doesn't want at all a man who's lower than her. A man who's completely on the outside who no other women wanted. A woman will put on hair weave and she will put on makeup to be with a man who absolutely positively will not even accept her without weave or makeup before she be's faithful and committed to a man who absolutely doesn't require her to put on no weave. He doesn't require her to put on any makeup, and he accepts her naturally as she is. She will be the number 3, 4, or 5 woman on an alpha male's plate before she's the one and only woman on an outcast plate. Because to her, there's no interest in the outcast. A woman generally wants to know that the man she's with, women are social creatures, and she generally wants to know that the man that she's with is desired enough by other women to where she has to fight for him to some degree. Fighting over a man is really a form of female structured socialism. Yes, they'll fight, but women that often fight over a man will at some point in time, not in all cases and not even in the majority of cases, but will often, engage in lesbianism with one another and eventually come close to one another. It's a form of actually social female societal construct, because that man has displayed enough characteristics, he has enough physical characteristics, and he displays enough masculine, assertive, and position of society, high position in society above them characteristics, to where he's somebody who will draw in other various groups of men to form the tribe or the clan. So when she asks the question, am I fat? She wants a man who is in position to be able to tell her yes, because he can. Even if she gets mad and says, well, I'm finna go. And he kind of lays back and says, okay, Juanita, you can go. I'm finna call Lakeisha. And he get on the phone with Lakeisha, be like, hey, Lakeisha, Juanita over here tripping. I'm finna take her home. I'll be over there a little bit later. It might take me a minute, but I'll be over there a little bit later to pick you up. And then, Juanita turned toward him and like, oh, you already with another bitch already. I ain't even got my foot out the door yet. You on the phone with hoes. Yada, 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 yada. She would rather sit there and argue with that man over the fact that he can tell her you're fat. And, you can go if you want to. Rather than the man who she asks the question, am I fat? And he'd be like, no. You look good. You're beautiful. You're absolutely beautiful. There's nothing wrong with you. She will often interpret that as desperation. And she will become unattracted to that man. Whereas her pussy will get dry with that man. Whereas with the man who is the alpha, she will suck his dick on command. And she will give him ass. She'll cook him food. And she will serve him. She will make him comfortable. While he has a relatively marginal view of her, because he has other women that are just as attractive as her, and she might just rank as maybe number 3 or 4. She will be more faithful and committed to the alpha as his number 3 or 4 than what she will a total outcast who is, in his eyes, her one and only. And this concludes until part 2. The game, am I fat? Remember, tell her Yes, you are.